Hey y'all, welcome back to Brandy Beauty TV. Look y'all, today my client Tayler said I could do whatever I wanted to do to her hair. And so I said, oh really now? Bet. So guess what? We're going lighter. So being this is a touch-up and not virgin color, I'll be adding to her existing color story to freshen it up a bit. Now, I don't want her to be solid blonde, but a dimensional blonde, meaning I want her to have dark, medium, and light pieces. So I'm going to start off by sectioning her hair for partial highlights. And guys, these highlights are not going to be chunky at all. I want them very, very thin because I just want to detail what we did in our previous session. I don't want to take away too much or add too much. Just literally go in and just detail. Now, you may ask why thin over chunky and, what's the difference? Well, if the highlights are thin, I can add subtle yet striking detail without changing her base too much because we don't want an entire head of blonde. So these are technically a combination of baby lights and strand lights. Now, being Tayler's hair is already pre-lightened, I'm keeping her formula very, very gentle. I'm using my favorite lightener, Blonde Solutions, and 10 Volume Developer. I am not using any permanent color whatsoever. I'm going to achieve this finished look strictly using one of my favorite dimensional blonde placements, lightener, and toner. That's it. So now all of the hair that I left out of the highlights, I'm now going to combine them, do a balayage placement, and then put them in a foil. I'm doing this because I don't want everything to have structured highs and lows. I need some organic pieces flowing through it as well so we can diffuse the lines. And I also want to tip her ends out so we can keep the middle dimensional and keep the depth there. And then on the ends, brighten it up so you can't see any lines whatsoever. We have this nice, clean, even lift. And this is my favorite part about color. Well, I should say, actually, I have a lot of favorite parts, but this is like in the top two. I love to see just the lift. Like if the application is good, then the lift will be good. And that's really where the color comes into play. It's not so much just the hair color, it's how you apply it. And if you saturate it well enough and if you get your placement down pretty good, then more than likely that color story is going to come out beautiful. So now what you see is now the color has now hit her spirit. And then that's what color does. So now I'm adding one of my favorite parts of any color story, and that's the money piece. The money piece is normally the lightest piece at the front of the hairline, and it can take a head of color from 0 to 100. So I'm taking my time making sure that I saturate using thin slices so that when we get ready to rinse and tone, you can see that bold pop of color at the front of her hair. Okay, so I'm done with the money piece. Now it's time to finish the last section of the partial placement. I'm using diagonal sections because I don't want it to be a hard break between her money piece and the rest of the color story. I want the money piece to, kind of gracefully feed into the rest of the hair so it will look much more natural. And y'all, placement is everything. You can manipulate any color story by simply knowing technique and where to place the color. I normally tell my color clients it's not the color that really matters, it's the technique. Like, you can use the same color, use 7 different techniques, and each color story will read completely different. So I require clients to bring hair inspiration pictures because just simply saying you want to be a certain color really isn't enough detail. It helps to have a visual so I can see how you want your color to read. So after the lightener is done processing, I shampooed Tayler with a neutralizing shampoo and a purple toning shampoo, and then I towel dried her hair. Now for my favorite part, the toner. I'm using Raven Shades EQ in shades 5G and 4NB, and then I'm going to use 9V, 9P, and 9B. And I'm going to mix these colors to create 2 custom toners for Tayler. The first will be used as a root smudge to conceal any lines at the root, and then the second will be used to melt everything else together. Notice I'm taking my time saturating every piece of hair, which is important because it ensures we get an even tone. You don't want those hot spots in the hair because it will mess up the color. You better work. Y'all, Tayler be serving the girls, okay? Like, yes, ma'am, honey. I just love her. I love her. So this session came out so good. Like, I ain't even gonna lie, y'all. I kind of shocked myself with this one. Like, it came out better than I anticipated. So that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed doing it. Until next time, thank you for watching Brandy Beauty TV, and I'll see you in the next one.